Hey my dear, it's Leadership Development Coach Kathy Archer. Welcome. I'm glad you joined me for the Facebook Live, or if you're watching later for the replay. I've been talking and I've been writing and I've been making videos for you about these whole links to help you not only do your job better, but feel better at your job and find that other people are recognizing that as well. So I've been talking about increasing your competency and then having the courage to apply that skills and the knowledge that you have, that competency gives you, when you practice it and apply it and do it again and again, gives you a boost of confidence. And here's the thing, what many people are struggling with is that feeling of not being credible in the eyes of the people around you. And so what happens is when you feel that inner confidence increase, that shows those other people around you that you're confident, their confidence in you increases, their belief, their faith, their trust increases, and that's what credibility is all about. Credibility is when those people around you believe in you, trust you, have faith in you. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust your abilities, then they're not going to either. And the one kind of place that we struggle with this is this whole place of courage. You can go take the training, you can have the basic information, you can have the theory, the knowledge, the coursework. But if you don't apply it, if you don't practice it, if you don't do it, you're never going to find that level of confidence in it. So it comes back to, I can sit in front of YouTube all I want and watch video after video of how to play a guitar. But if I don't actually put the guitar on my lap, and if I don't actually start to strum away at it, I'm never going to become better at it, and I'm never going to increase my confidence at it. So it starts with putting the guitar in my lap and starting to strum it. The same is true if you have been taking training on conflict resolution or mediation or communication skills, but you never then walk into a conversation with a difficult employee and use that, or if you never take that training into the meeting that you're attending, or if you never pull out those skills that you learned when you're talking to your boss, nothing's going to change for you. The problem that we have is the courage to do that. We are terrified to do it because we've never done it before. We've never practiced it. We've never attempted it. We've never utilized it. And so we're terrified that we're going to fumble through it, make a mess, make an idiot of ourselves, embarrass ourselves, have somebody look at us and go, what are you doing, or what are you talking about? And that's what gets in the way of us doing things. I remember when I was taking the beginnings of my coach training and I came back so excited and I had all this stuff. I wanted to coach my staff. I wanted to grow them and develop them. And I would sit down at a supervision meeting with somebody and I'd be like, it just feels awkward to use this sort of coachy language, or to use this formula that I was taught, or to just use different language or lingo or terms. And I had to really push through it. I had to really make myself use it, make myself try, even though I got the, raised eyebrows from people, or the rolling their eyes, or the, sighs about different things. And I had to just push through that and keep trying to practice and use the skills. And it wasn't until I kept practicing and having that courage to practice, even though it felt weird, even though it felt awkward, even though it felt strange. It wasn't until I had the courage to do that that I started to feel better about it, and I started to increase my confidence at it. And what happened then was the people around me also started to notice that. I remember my one staff in particular, she said to me, wow, that's kind of cool the way you just did that. And the minute she said that, it was just like this surge of affirmation for me. Yes, keep with it, Kathy. Do it again. Try it, even though it's weird, even though it's awkward, even though it doesn't come naturally, to keep at it. I had to have the courage to do that. And that's what I want to encourage you today, is to find your courage to try some of the new skills that you have. Develop the courage to step outside your comfort zone with some of those trainings that you've been to, with the books you've read, with the things you've watched on YouTube or TED Talks, with the information that you have, those basic competencies, those skills, that knowledge. I want you to step out courageously and try and apply it. How do you do that though? Well, there are a couple things that can help you. One is you can just simply be aware that this is a courageous act. And when you're aware that you're requiring some courage, what it does is it just kind of gives you that ability to notice the resistance inside you, the stomach that's going, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, or the desire to procrastinate or put off or delay or avoid that conversation or that task. When you recognize that you need the courage to get through it, you'll feel that resistance and you'll move through anyhow. And I think that's one of the really important things, is to just simply notice that there's that resistance. It's like you're swimming upstream, right? You have to fight the currents. You have to fight that stuff that's coming at you. And to simply notice that sometimes helps you kind of get through it. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, and I've talked about this a zillion times, if you haven't heard me talk about it, then you probably will a zillion more in the future. And that's this whole thing about power posing. When we get afraid, when we get fearful, what it does is it shuts our bodies down and we come back into this whole fight, flight kind of mode. And it releases those chemicals in our body that say, ah, something's wrong, and we tense up and we get ready to fight. What you need to do is start relaxing your body. And so when you put yourself in that power pose, and you do this not in front of other people, but you power pose, make yourself take up as much space as you can, chin up, shoulders back, go in the bathroom, stand like Superwoman, stand, in your office with the door shut. But when you stand like that for 2 minutes, it will increase your confidence. It will give you that courage to then step out and have that conversation, to do that thing that you need to do. So be aware that it's requiring courage. Shift your body so that you can do it, and then take the first step, whatever that step is. It might be, if you have to send an email, it might be opening up the email and typing the person's name in it. It might be scheduling time to meet with that person. It might be opening the door. There was many times that I would just hide in my office, and it was way safer, way easier to just pretend that I was busy, and to simply open my door and have myself be accessible to people took a level of courage. And so it might simply be that, but take that first step, whatever that first step is for you, that you need to do to start increasing that courage. So what I've done is I've made a cheat sheet for you, because I think, sometimes we don't sort of recognize where we're at or what we're doing. So I'm going to put the link below for you to download a cheat sheet that's going to help you kind of develop some courage to be more confident, to step out and do some of those things that you've been afraid to do. When we think about developing courage, though, what I want you to think about is we can practice it in other ways and build a level of courage that then comes into our workplace. So when you're doing this cheat sheet that, again, I'm going to put in the link below when we're done this, when you're doing this cheat sheet, think about places that you can be courageous, maybe in your job and outside your job. When I signed up for adult swimming lessons, when I took dance class, when I went and took a course, when I made myself stand at the top of the Calgary Tower on the glass floor, those are all things that had nothing to do with work necessarily. But they gave me a level of courage and confidence to do other things. Many of the things that we're struggling with being courageous are things, like heights and mice. That's mine. Probably not yours, but that's mine. And fears of being hurt, fears of being in public, speaking in public. Those are some of the most common fears. Face those fears. Oh, and being in the deep end. Sorry, that's my other one. Mice and deep end were my big ones, and heights. When you face those fears outside of work, they give you an increased level of confidence and courage that help you inside your job. So when you're doing this cheat sheet, make sure that you think about, what are some of the other things that I can do inside and outside of my job that are going to increase my courage? And when you do that, when you start to be more courageous, when you move through that fear, when you recognize what's going on, when you change your body posture and shift your chemistry inside your body, that increases your level of confidence. But confidence starts with being afraid. Confidence starts with being terrified. Confidence starts with being worried and anxious, and still moving through that. If you have any questions, post them below, guys, because I will answer them. I'm just going to refresh my page here on Facebook and make sure that nobody has commented as we're talking along. But you need to do those things because that's what's going to help you develop that level of confidence, develop that level of courage, so that you feel more competent and other people see you as more competent and credible. At the end of the day, that's when we start to enjoy our jobs more. At the end of the day, that's when we start to find things are better for us, is when we start to move through the fear, get outside of our comfort zone, do things that are scary, develop a level of competence at them, that ability to keep doing that. Then we start to feel better and everybody around us notices it and they start to have more faith in us. They start to believe in us more. They start to give us opportunities. They start to listen to us more. It starts with being courageous and stepping outside your comfort zone. So any questions? I'm just going to again double check to make sure that nobody's posted any questions today. Nope, I don't see any here. If you guys have any questions, post them. But again, I'll put the cheat sheet below when we're done the video for you to pop over, grab it, do a little exercise to help you increase your courage so that you increase your confidence and people find you more credible. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll talk to you next week.